The following graph gives information about fast food times a week. The items include everyday, once a week, and never. According to this graph, in several times a week, the value of July 2003 is around 17%. And that of 2013 is lower, which is around 16%. You can see from this graph that the highest number of December 2006 is in about once a week, around 33%. What's more, the lowest one of July 2013 is in every day, around 3%. To sum up, the graph tells about how often Americans eat fast food. The following graph gives information about fast food consumption by meal. The items include breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. According to this graph, in breakfast, the value is around 22.7%, and that of snack is the lowest, which is around 22.6%. You can see from this graph that the highest percentage of lunch is 43.7%. What's more, the second highest number of dinner is 42%. In conclusion, fast food consumption has four kinds. The following graph gives information about which economies are the richest. The items include Switzerland, the United States, and Hong Kong. In Australia, the value of average wealth is around $400,000. And that of Netherlands is lower, around $300,000. What's more, the lowest median wealth is in Denmark, $100,000. You can also see from this graph that Australia has the highest value of median wealth. In conclusion, Switzerland has the highest rank. The following picture gives information about plastic bottle recycling. The steps include new bottles, refilling, used bottles and plastic processing. According to this picture, the first step is newly produced bottles, which are empty. After that, the second step is to fill the empty bottles with beverage. You can see from this picture that the third step is to open the bottles and drink up it, followed by the fourth step to transport used bottles back to the factory and use them as materials. Finally, the plastic materials turn into new bottles waiting for refilling. To sum up, this picture tells about recycling of plastic bottles. The following picture gives information about how tomatoes come to consumers. The steps include a tomato tree, transportation, filtering, packaging. According to this picture, the first step is the tomato tree, which grows many tomatoes on the branches. What's more, the second step is to transport tomatoes by a blue truck. You can see from this picture that the third step is to filter bad tomatoes out on a conveyor belt, followed by a crate full of good tomatoes as the fourth step. The final step is to fill the shopping cart with the good tomatoes for consumers. To sum up, this picture tells about how tomato is processed. The following graph gives information about Litchfield population. The horizontal axis is the years, ranging from 1901 to 2011. According to this graph, in the year of 1911, the value is around 8,000. What's more, in the year of 1941, it is around 10,000. The highest point is around 32,500, which is in 2011. On the contrary, the lowest one is 7,000, and it is in 1901. In conclusion, if this trend continues, the Litchfield population will keep rising in the future. The following pie chart gives information about compositions of air. The items include oxygen, nitrogen, and other gases. You can see from this pie chart that, in oxygen, the percentage is around 20%. What's more, in other gases, the value is around 1%, which is lower. Also, nitrogen accounts around 79%, whose percentage is the highest. The pie chart also shows that, in oxygen, the color is pink. And other gases include carbon dioxide, argon and water vapor. To sum up, this pie chart tells about the compositions of air. The following layout provides information about a floor plan. The items include a main hall, an office, a kitchen, and toilets. You can see from this layout that there is a main hall in the upper area of the plan. Additionally, toilets for males and females are on the right side of the plan. According to this layout, another toilet for the handicapped is located in the bottom right corner, marked with a wheelchair sign. Also, a kitchen is situated in the bottom left corner, and an office is located in the middle of the plan. To sum up, the layout shows how the rooms are arranged. The following picture gives information about shopping in a stationery store. In the left half of the picture, we can see a white woman in pink sweater with her daughter in the arms. The mother and the daughter look at each other with smiles in their faces. And the daughter holds a new bag in the hand. In the right half of the picture, the daughter carries the bag on the back. Also, she holds 6 colorful pencils in the hands in front of the chest. To sum up, this picture tells about how the two shop for stationery. This infographic shows information about renewable energy in 3 areas: heating and cooling, transport, and power. Heating and cooling, shown with 2 thermometers, use 51% of energy, but only 10% is renewable. Transport, represented by a ship and a plane, uses 32% of energy, with just 3% from renewable sources. Power, shown with a plug, makes up 17% of energy, and 26% of it comes from renewable sources. Arrows in each section show the trend of renewable energy. Overall, this infographic explains London's energy target for 2030. The following graph gives information about Internet users who access the Internet via mobile phones. The items include 16 to 24, 55 to 64, and 65 plus. You can see from this graph that, in 45 to 54, the value is around 32%. What's more, in 35 to 44, the number is around 50, which is higher. Also, in 16 to 24, it's 70%, the highest percentage. Finally, the lowest percentage comes in 65 plus, around 8%. To sum up, this graph tells about Internet users with mobile phones. The following diagram shows how a ship lock works. The items include a ship lock, a ship, dams, and pipes under the bottom. You can see from this diagram that the first step is that the upstream gate opens and the ship enters the lock. Next, the upstream gate closes and the water level evens. Finally, the downstream gate opens and the ship moves out of the lock. To sum up, this diagram explains the function of a ship lock. The following graph gives information about wind power global capacity. The items include years, gigawatts, a windmill and clouds. You can see from this graph that the value of 1997 is around 7.6 gigawatts. What's more, in 1998 it is around 10 gigawatts, which is higher. According to this graph, in 2012 the number is around 283 gigawatts, the highest one. Finally, around 6.1 gigawatts occurs in 1996, and it is the lowest one. To sum up, the graph tells about wind power global capacity. The following map gives information about world population density. The items include Asia, Africa, America and Europe. You can see from this map that the values of Central Europe and some eastern areas of the United States are around 350 people per square kilometer. What's more, the population densities of coastal areas of North Africa, Southeast Asia and Turkey are around 400, which are higher. Also, Eastern China and India have around 700 people per square kilometer, the highest. Finally, the lowest densities are in Antarctic, northern Russia and the inland area of Australia, around 0. To sum up, this map tells about world population density. The following sketch-style illustration shows how to make instant coffee. The steps include adding coffee, adding sugar, stirring, and pouring hot water. First, coffee is added to a cup using a spoon. Next, sugar is poured from a packet. Then, the mixture is stirred with a spoon. After that, hot water is poured from a kettle. Finally, the coffee is ready to drink. To sum up, this illustration explains the process of making instant coffee. The following flowchart shows the process of making instant coffee. The steps include roasting, extraction, cooling, concentration, and drying. First, green coffee beans are roasted. Next, the extraction process removes soluble coffee ingredients. After that, the liquid is cooled. Then, it goes through concentration and drying. Finally, the instant coffee is ready for sale. To sum up, this flowchart explains how instant coffee is made. The following picture gives information about a fruit and vegetable market. The items include market stalls, products, traders and customers. You can see bunches of bananas from this picture, which are yellow and piled next to green grapes on the stall. What's more, there's a woman standing in front of the stall, buying some green vegetables, with a black plastic bag on the left arm. Also, many red and blue basins are put on electronic balancers. To sum up, this picture about a fruit and vegetable market. The following diagram shows the upper limbs of different species, including the human arm, seal limb, bird wing, and bat wing. In humans, the hand, wrist, and fingers are smaller compared to the seal limb. In birds, the radius and ulna are thin and short. The bat's humerus is thinner than that of the seal. Additionally, the bat wing has a membrane that connects its elongated fingers. To sum up, this diagram illustrates the upper limbs of various species and their adaptations. The following diagram illustrates the journey of grapes from the vineyard to the customer. The process begins with grapes ripening on the vine. Next, they are harvested and transported by truck. After that, they move along a conveyor belt for processing. The grapes are then packed into a box for distribution. Finally, they reach the customer when placed in a shopping cart. To sum up, this diagram depicts the process of grape production and distribution. The following map shows the distribution of rainforests in South America. The largest portion of tropical rainforest, shaded in light green, is found in Brazil, Bolivia, Peru, Colombia, and Suriname. There is also a narrow stretch of tropical rainforest along the eastern coast near the Atlantic Ocean, and another stretch along the northwest coast near the Pacific Ocean. Meanwhile, temperate rainforests, shaded in dark green, are located in southern Chile. To sum up, this map illustrates where different types of rainforests grow in South America.